license to like say the N-word because it's about how
Oh, the puppet?
Yeah, solve racism.
Says the guy who looks like her puppet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm dressed like the villain in the show.
That's the only appropriate way to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. You could close it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a window open.
We'll open the
You want to
window.
grab me a seltzer? Do you mind? May I please have a seltzer? Yeah. Did you see there's a video of a white woman who's blocking traffic because an Uber was like I guess riding her too close. And she's like, say you're sorry. And the guy's like, I'm sorry. And she won't leave. And she's like, what? You're sorry for what?
What?
The whole street is like
The block
just
is
blocked off.
Wait, was she in a car?
She was on a bike.
So there's just a line of traffic stopped behind her, honking.
Yeah.
Did you already start?
Well,
I'm already
technically,
starting.
but that's okay.
Steve wants to know if you're going to billiards 4 to 6 or Simpsons pizza and cake 8 to 11.
No, I'll be at billiard. I'll try to be at billiards. Tell them I'm doing the show. I'm going to be at billiards. I'll be there. 4 to 6, I'll be there. I can be there by 5:30. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sometimes it's nice to be talked to like you're a 6-year-old.
Wait, are these comedy things or is this just like Italian friend things?
It's my brother's birthday today.
Oh, okay.
30.
Oh, so they're doing like events throughout the day,
Yeah.
like billiards from 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then what was the last one? Pie and cake.
I guess it's like a Simpsons marathon at his place, but he lives in Washington Heights, which is way too far.
That might as well be in Washington.
Yeah.
Might as well be in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to Washington D.C. I take that back. I've never been to Washington Heights. I'm gonna stop being that guy.
Yeah. The bridge is nice. The bridge is a great like first date because there's
Wait, what
woods
bridge?
on the other side of it.
So you can have sex.
Yeah.
Wait,
You
what
don't have to have
bridge?
sex. The George Washington Bridge.
Doesn't that go to Jersey though?
It goes to Jersey.
But
Yeah,
so you walk across
you
to
walk
Jersey?
across the bridge. You
And
walk
have
across
sex
to
in the
Jersey
woods in Jersey?
if you want.
Yeah.
It's optional. But I'm just saying it's there if you
That's
need
such
to.
a fucking
If you're trying
Springsteen thing to
if you're
do.
trying to smash. Yeah.
Get the lovely
And if you don't, you
sound
just
of
go.
it.
You go. Hey, there's woods over there, and or you can walk back. Walk back over the bridge.
Be
Yeah.
serenaded to the sweet cars passing on the road.
Yeah.
Or get a Lyft or Uber into Jersey and be like, well, if you want to go back, we got to walk across the bridge. It's nice.
Right.
The guy who like threatens his dates into doing extremely nice shit with no harmful intent. We're going to take a cruise around the fucking city. That's why. Look how beautiful the skyline is.
Yeah. Here, give me your phone. I just don't want you distracted from the beautiful sunset.
I'm just going to put it in this envelope and seal it. And in my pocket. Here it is back.
Yeah.
Also, I paid next month's bill. Wait, I got a question.
Yeah.
Honest question.
Okay.
Are either of you on your family plan still?
I was until about a year ago.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, there's a certain level of like I gotta get off.
I think
of this
I
shit.
turned 30 and I was like, all right, enough of this.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you?
no, not anymore. I
Yeah.
just but today is the 5-year anniversary
Of not being on it?
of not being on it,
Yeah,
which means I was in my mid-30s when I finally got off of it.
Yeah.
Which I looked back on and I was like, why was I on it so long? And then I was like, oh yeah, because I didn't have a credit card for the longest time. I just had a debit card because I had crashed and burned my first credit card, like I think a lot of people did, and just waited out the 7 years
Mm-hmm.
of the thing. What's the 7-year rule? You know what I'm talking about? Where
It's like a money thing.
no, it's like all debts are forgiven at a certain. I hope so.
Oh, they
that's
are?
what I did. Then I got a new card, and then was like, you know what? I got to be an adult now
Yeah.
at 35.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
No, but honestly, like it makes sense for your mommy to handle your bills.
At a certain,
Just have mommy do it.
each generation is beholden to philosophies that they imparted on us.
Yeah.
Like the like you got to work for what you want generation. I don't even remember which one that was, but those fucking people worked. Like we were raised by I just don't want you to have to work
Yeah.
as hard as I did, people. So that means you're going to handle phone bills till we're 35. Jesus Christ, when you say it that way.
Right.
Makes
I
me
know.
feel like such a piece of
I
shit.
know. My mom does stuff for me.
Statute
and
of
I'm like-
limitations. That's
Oh,
what it's
okay.
called. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Yeah, because my mom does stuff for me sometimes where I feel so pampered. I feel like a little child. Yeah. I mean, I'll bring laundry home and then she'll do it. She'll give me groceries and paper towels and toilet paper.
You know what my mom is
not
always
a child anymore. I'm not a fucking kid anymore, Mom. Stop.
The one
You're embarrassed.
my mom has always done is when she did laundry, she never did socks or underwear though.
Oh.
She was always like, I'm not touching that. You know,
She
that's
knew
for
what it
you.
was.
You need to learn to deal with your dirty
That's good.
parts.
That's great.
And it was so like there were years of my life where it was like, oh, I should probably wash these socks. Underwear, I always
You just didn't want. I don't know. Not wearing clean socks. That fucks with me.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fucks with me psychologically.
See, for me,
I
it's
could wear-
underwear specifically.
Okay.
That's where I get like I've like thrown underwear away midday and bought. I'm not gonna lie about that. Here in New York City, I've like gone to a Target, bought like new underwear, gone to a Starbucks, thrown the pair I was wearing, flushed them down the toilet. You can do that. I've done it numerous times.
Oh, okay.
And put on a fresh pair of underwear because it gets so fucking hot
Yeah.
and swampy, and you know those.
How many days were you wearing that pair of underwear?
Not consecutively, never. I'm
Yeah.
always pretty clean about that. However, a pair I'd owned for a good year and a half that I felt couldn't hold up anymore,
Yeah.
and it absorbed too much sweat.
Yeah.
And I knew it was one. You know how here it's one thing I love / hate about New York, but love more than hate. Like 70% love, 30% hate. Is sometimes when you leave, it's for the day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
not,
yeah.
you can't, especially if you're
Right,
a comic,
right,
like
right,
you
right,
can't
right.
go fucking home,
No.
live out in Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, whatever. So you're out for the day, and then you get to that point where like I've got about 3 more hours to kill, and you know like this pair of underwear will not make it 2 hours into that 3 hours, and I don't want it to ruin the rest of my night, knowing in the back of my head I'm gonna be thinking about these underwear that have just taken on too much.
So you
and
bring another pair.
They've OD'd.
Yeah.
They've OD'd.
Dwayne
Now,
Reed, you
Yeah.
buy a new pair.
buy a new pair. Target.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah. Kmart. That's what it's there for.
Okay.
I'm just throwing this out there. New York, like
Well, we're very excited to be
this
talking.
could be a new racket for the new mafia. For the
Oh, just replacement underwear.
just replacement
Yeah.
underwear.
Why do they
But
come
that's
in
the thing.
packs of 2? Because then you have an extra one. You
I know, right? And
Yeah, but there's no rackets anymore. Like that would be done by like a tech company or something.
yeah,
An
like they're the
app
rackets
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because everything's like pretty much legal, or everything's either like legal or it's explicitly illegal. There's no like weird laws anymore. Like
But I guess
cigarettes
isn't
or
that
something.
what it always was like, yeah, like okay, cell phones obviously are legal,
Hmm.
but you just hijack a fucking truck full of iPhone or smartphones being delivered to a Radio Shack, and you sell those to your guy who sells them on the block for 50, and you take a cut.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what the thing is?
Yeah.
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 Fucking nailed it, baby.
No, but you're saying like that could be a racket, like replacement underwear.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, yeah, specifically.
I was thinking maybe like vending machines, like that. Remember that
Yeah.
bodega cat?
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
just
yeah.
have
Right,
like
right.
a single underwear vending machine.
I mean, if you were walking around a city like New York and you see the guy with the messenger bag and the beard
Mhm.
and the shabby hair and like the dumb graphic T-shirt and the jeans that just look like they're screaming for help
Mhm.
and like the Adidas Sambas, and he's walking around with a slightly wider gait than most people, you know that guy is dying for a fucking replacement pair of underwear.
that
Yeah.
guy needs a change.
You know what I mean? But doesn't want to make a big deal.
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
right.
It seems like semi-illegal hustles are kind of like frowned upon these days. Like I have an idea for business. I mean, we've talked about this a bunch of times, but it's a box truck, and during the day you can nap. It's soundproof.
I'm
the
already
day.
investing in this.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So during the day
Yeah.
you can nap or masturbate in it, and then at night gay men can
Fuck
can
it.
fuck in
Do
it.
whatever
Yeah.
you want in it.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
You rent
wait.
it for like $60 an hour or something.
Hey, dude, I'm not even like that's genius.
No, I know it's genius.
Like,
but
obviously, I thought it.
I mean, there's some logistical stuff that, like,
Yeah.
would be a problem. I mean, you got to wash the sheets every time
Does it have
somebody
to be
uses it.
just
But,
gay
but
men?
people, no,
Can anyone-
but I
no.
mean, come on.
That's just
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
his demo, right?
I mean, that's
now.
mostly that's who we would sort of specifically cater to.
Right.
It's funny.
Yeah,
It's funny
but-
when you say these days the thing that people miss is when someone says something like that. They're like, why's it got to be gay men fucking in a truck? It's like, because they're men.
Yeah.
You leave out the part about men.
Yeah.
Like gay being homosexuality doesn't raise your IQ. You know what I mean? Like we're still dudes.
Right.
And men like to fuck. And sometimes it's like, let's just get this done. Oh, there's a truck we can rent?
There's a truck we can
There's a
rent.
fucking box truck we
30
can
bucks
rent
each.
for
Yeah.
30 bucks
Yeah,
forever.
drive to you, right?
But I feel like that's not something that people would really like respect if I told people I did that. They'd be like, ooh, really?
I mean,
I don't know,
if you told them that you did that while in your penthouse at a fucking Saturday shrimp party.
Yeah, the name of your company, Theranos.
Yeah, a shrimp jam that they were invited to.
Yeah,
Like, oh, that's how you paid for all this shrimp and
Right.
And fucking what was the other thing what's another thing you like to eat? Sauce, shrimp and sauce party?
No, it would be cool if like some guy was like, hey, I got a number in my phone, if it was done kind of like secretly. But that probably would end up getting taken over by like a bigger, tech conglomerate or something. And
yeah, it all does. That is a good point. But you could sell the idea to him, I think, if you
I guess.
Wait, because dude, sir, you know how you see in New York, you see a lot of like movies being shot and they have like the trailers. They have if it's a big enough movie, or even if it's small,
the
have
fancy
like 5
trailers.
or 6 trailers. Dude,
Should I just start that as a business?
Yeah,
the nap. I'll call it the nap truck.
The nap
with a wink, with a winky face.
Exactly. The nap, like one eye closed, nap truck.
Yeah.
Nap. Because that's the thing.
And you put a almost invisible F in front of the AP and nap.
So fat.
It's like
the fat.
It's a nap truck.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think you just got to go nap with the winky eye.
Okay.
Because I think you can, as long as you could imply whatever you want, but if you just come out and say it, that's where people get weird.
Yeah.
Especially, excuse me, Jesus, a lot of seltzer. But I've wanted this for years.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've been walking around the city and be like, I just want to take a nap.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it in a fucking park because it's June.
Yeah.
Or January.
Yeah.
So I can't.
It's locked.
Yeah, I don't want to rent. I've thought about like renting a hotel room and just being, I'll just have a hotel room for the day. Oh wait, I don't want to drop
$400.
Right.
Yeah.
But
very reasonable.
Yeah.
I've also, not gonna lie to you, of course wanted to beat off.
Yeah.
Of course, had those moments where you're just like, oh my god, that was the most outrageously beautiful group of Brazilian yoga team. What? And then you just got to walk around with that in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, hey, I'm gonna go take a nap. Wink.
Right.
Because have you ever been inside those fucking movie cart things?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Well, they're like one of them is 4 things.
Because you could just do it with a Sprinter van too.
Yeah.
You're
talking
stand up.
You're going real. Okay, you're going real. All right.
No, that's my background.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're just picturing something a little bit nicer.
I'm thinking like it's like
what
you get the permits.
No,
like
dude, a 14-foot box truck, you'd be fine. Like that would be fine. No. Because you want to keep it mobile. You want to keep it in case a pesky meter maid comes over. You get in and
you're saying
you could just drive around the block too. To be honest,
Right.
you don't even have to.
So you're saying it's like a Lyft or an Uber situation for this thing. It's like,
you
hey, you
circle
want to
the block while these two
you hail it
while 2 older gay men suck each other off in the back of the truck.
Have you ever seen Robert ever been like, you know what? I am out.
Yeah. All you need is
fuck any shark who's not on board with this. You're a fucking cuck if you don't think this is a good idea. Hello, sharks. I'm here to say you're a cuck if you don't think this is a good idea.
You're fucking. Oh God, I love that idea. We're just like, we just get a Honda Odyssey. Fuck it.
Yeah.
A Honda Odyssey and put a curtain right here.
Oh, you thought it was like a big trailer with like a no.
You're gonna have to get insurance.
You gotta keep it moving. You gotta keep it moving.
Yeah.
And it's just a white. Yeah.
One person per truck.
I like it.
I want to ask you about something before we sort of like start the show, because somebody reminded me of the story that I saw you do on stage a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you're walking dogs and you're walking a pit bull on a leash, and because I love my dog, I got 2. We got 2 dogs.
Yeah.
You were walking a pit bull on a leash, and a smaller dog came up to
Wasn't
it.
a pit bull though. Greyhound.
Okay.
I know the story you're telling now.
Yeah.
Greyhound.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I want to hear what you...
Well, because I was like, I vaguely remember that, but he said that he was walking a big dog and a little dog came up to it and the dog grabbed it and shook it and it
killed it.
It. What kind of dog was the dog that got murdered? That's bad.
It was very insane. It was a greyhound, a 15-year-old greyhound that I was walking, and it was a Maltese puppy.
Yeah.
Like a very young,
like Maxon kind of, right?
Smaller.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking that
thing.
It was
a puppy.
That thing had to be like I'm talking 6-7 weeks, like brand new. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
It was like and it happened. I know in the moment, I'm sure, but I know it felt like longer, but I guarantee it was probably 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It was lightning fast. Like because the whole reason we even I was okay with letting this dog talk to each other. like dogs do on the streets. Because the dog I was walking was so fucking old
Mhm.
that it was. I had to like drag it out of the house every day,
Yeah.
and like I was a dog walker at the time, and like had to like like when it would poop, it was a 10-minute process, you know, and I had to like sometimes had to like scoop the poop out of its butt. Like it was an old fucking animal that was gonna die soon.
Yeah.
And then it was so all of a sudden this little Maltese and just its youth was just reinvigorated. It was like killed it like in seconds. Like
And
just,
what happened? He just bit it and he killed it.
like
He bit it and shook it.
No, I mean like
Or he
straight
picked it
up, like
up?
exactly like you imagine, like bit down on it, picked it up, and then just did that thing with its head like back and forth,
Wow.
and just it was dead. Like I mean, have you ever tried
So
to?
there's no chance of stopping it.
Oh, dude, with
Yeah.
it, like because first of all, the realization that it's happening is
Mhm.
like, oh, this is for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secondly, like the poor woman whose dog it was just went into like utter hysterics, like you would,
Yeah.
of course. And you ever try fucking open a dog's jaw when it's locked something, when it's
No.
like bit down on something? You
Yeah.
cannot.
Yeah.
Like no, I mean, but I think it's like an anatomical thing. Like dogs' jaws lock down. They don't. It's like a canine thing. You cannot unlock a dog's. So I'm like trying to pull its fucking mouth open, and I'm looking at the thing. It's dead.
Probably
it's like
covered
no
in
longer
blood. Yeah.
just ripped. It was horrible. Ugh. Looked like the cover of a fucking Swedish black metal band
Yeah.
album. You know.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, that's.
I know. What's even the takeaway from a story like that? I guess just don't let your
Right.
dogs socialize.
I did
don't
a
know.
bit.
That's-
I did a bit about it. Yeah, where I was like, don't. The takeaway is don't talk shit to your elders
Yeah.
because you don't know what
Right,
they've
right.
been through.
Right.
You know, 'cause
Yeah.
like maybe that obviously that greyhound had been chasing. You know, it was a former race dog, so
Mhm.
like it had been chasing the rabbit all its goddamn life and never got to get that rabbit, and then this little rabbit-esque looking pup started talking shit to it. I don't know
It
that
was
that's
like
what
a
it
last hurrah. Or
was like.
something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're dead.
Damn.
And now the cops are here, and they didn't give a fuck. They gave negative 0.6.
Was she screaming? The lady who owned the
Dude,
dog.
it was horrible. And like, the only reason it stopped is because the fuck this construction worker came running up. I thought he was gonna hit me. Like I legitimately,
Yeah.
he had his hard hat in his hand, and I was like, this dude's about to fucking clock me, and I get it, I deserve it at this point. But he just started pounding the greyhound on the ass with the hard hat, just like pop, 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 until it yelped.
Yeah.
Bah! It finally yelped, and then the thing just fell out of its mouth.
Oh boy.
Basically.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then the woman grabbed it. We were on Crosby and Broome. She grabbed it and ran down the block. There was like an emergency vet there.
Oh wow.
And it was just like, I just stood there. But then like 5 people who were just walking by all came over. And like half of them were like, what the fuck? What, how could you let that happen? And then there were another like 3 people who were like, no, fuck that. We saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing he could have done about that. So then they were just arguing. And then the woman came back with someone from the vet clinic and was like, I just need to know what happened. And I could tell she needed me to say it because this poor woman was just in hysterics.
Yeah.
Couldn't talk, crying. I felt fucking terrible. And one time I was doing the bit on stage, and afterwards someone told me that was their sister,
Oh yeah.
and that she was it was a bad day. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But they thought the bit was funny.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good.
But anyway,
Yeah.
and then the cops showed up because they had to call the cops, and they were just like, but the dog didn't bite anyone, like a human being. No one got well. I mean, I can't do
Did
nothing
they have
about
to
that.
put the dog down? Probably.
No,
Right?
they did not. I found out because I got fired from the company like the next day.
Yeah.
But I found out I had friends who worked there that it just was like ordered to wear a muzzle
No.
around us. But that's not even the most fucked up part. Dude. All right. Do we have time for a little side note here?
Sure.
The most fucked up thing is the couple that I walked the dog for. I worked for a company, but I walked this dog. His name was Max, like every day for a year, pretty much.
The greyhound.
The greyhound.
Yeah.
And I house sat a couple of times where you just stay at their house and watch the dog, and you go walk other dogs and shit and do your thing, but you
Yeah.
stay
Was
at
there
their
any aggression or anything? Or
Well, I never saw them again, but like it was this gay couple,
Oh.
right? And one of the guys was from Turkey, so they would go back to Budapest a lot. Is it Budapest in Turkey? Yeah. Sorry,
Istanbul.
Istanbul is what I'm thinking of. Jesus. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm a dumb fucking straight
Hey,
white.
hey.
You're right. Whatever you want to call me.
Hey,
No.
you and everybody listening to this show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they would go back a lot, so I would stay at their place. And one time, one of the guys' names was Nelson.
Mhm.
One time he was like, "Hey, by the way, we've got these cleaning ladies coming tomorrow, so just if you could be here while they're here, We just want to make sure, they actually do their job.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, why are you guys fucking gay guys? This place is immaculate. What are you talking about?
Right.
Anyway, I was like, yeah, sure. And then I was there.
Well, yeah, but the cleaning crew has a lot of work in those apartments for those people.
Yeah, and like these two like Asian girls come over and they're like, hello, and I'm like, hi, and I'm like on the computer, dicking around, kind of playing with the dog, and they're very observant of me all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. They're just looking at me and watching me and sort of like, washing a dish and like folding clothes. I'm like, okay, hi, and they keep laughing, going, hi, and I was like, hi. And then
they hired them to watch you.
Well, basically, here's the thing. I left to go like walk other dogs, do the thing. And when I got back, they were still there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, hello. And they're like, hi. And then one of them was like, can I take a shower? And I was like, sure. And the other one was like, me too. And I was like, okay. And they went and took a shower. And I was like, this is fucking weird. And then they came out after a while dressed and were like, okay, we have to go now. And I was like, all right, bye. Mm-hmm. And then a week later, the couple, Nelson and his husband, come back, and he's like, how were they? And I was like, they didn't do shit, by the way. Mm-hmm. And they took a bath. Mm-hmm. And he was like, how was the bath? I was like, what do you mean, how was the bath? And then we get into this conversation where he's like, please don't tell me that they came, nothing happened, and they left. I was like, that is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And basically, as a gift to my services, they hired me 2 sex workers. Those were not cleaning ladies.
Wait,
the gay couple hired me. They hired
what?
Escorts for me.
Why would they say they were cleaning ladies?
Because he didn't want to. Because he was like, we didn't think you'd be into it if we told you. And I was like, A, I would have been.
Yeah.
B,
yeah.
What the? I'm not just like alpha dude. I'm not gonna just be like, yo,
I just think you're some asexual. Like,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. They're telling this story on a podcast right now too,
dude. But that's how well off they were. They weren't even mad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They were like, "Oh God, are you serious?" Well,
that's great.
That's
2 of them.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And it wasn't even my birthday. But so it was real fucked up when
Please don't tell me they didn't clean the house and took a bath and left.
But it was super fucked up.
Did they speak English? Did they? Or they were like foreign
clean ladies?
Yeah.
They definitely seemed American. Or English speaking. But they like
you think they'd be like, you sucky
or something or
some kind of signal.
Come out of the. I think the signal was they were going to take a shower.
Where's the vacuum?
You didn't even see them get naked or anything.
Nothing.
Jesus.
I think the signal was the shower.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I'm not going to just walk in because that was his point. He was
Did
like, they took the shower.
Do it again? Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to walk in.
But everybody in New York needs a shower.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know how it is.
Just needs a gay couple's apartment to shower
exactly.
in. Yeah.
We want to save water.
Yeah.
So if 2 people are showering, you might as well jump in there. It's an environmental thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucked when then I had to tell them that their dog was a murderer.
All right, listen, well, we're 20 minutes in. So I was talking to Sean at a show a few nights ago, and I was like, yeah, we do this Mafia podcast. You should do it. And he was like, Sean was like, I want to do the Bonanno family because you like kind of like, you think it's interesting their place in the world of organized crime. And I was reading about it too. We're reading from The 5 Families by Selwyn Robb. And it says, ever since the Cosa Nostra's birth, the Bonanno family had been an integral part of the mob's DNA. Its roots and its name date back to 1931, to the end of the Castellamarese War, when Joe Bonanno was anointed boss. 3 decades of prosperity followed under the reign of Bonanno, until his power play to make himself boss of bosses by killing other venerable dons backfired. In 1966, the commission forced him into early retirement, creating an unsettled and confusing interregnum for more than a decade. The Borgata is like being in school again.
Yeah.
Their command instructor was basically what happened was they were kicked. The Bonanno family was kicked off the commission, and then the FBI stopped investigating them as one of the 5 families. They sort of lumped them into the Colombo family. There was a bunch of infighting. Donnie Brasco, Joe Pistone, the family he infiltrated was the Bonanno family. But eventually, after the 90s, when a bunch of when all the other mobsters were indicted, they were able to sort of like climb back up and make their little comeback in the late 90s.
Yeah, I also feel like just like they seem like the like scrappy scrappy little brother of the 5 families.
Yeah.
So from what I've just heard,
The Columbos were kind of like that too.
the Columbos,
Yeah,
I
they
thought
were
that-
always fighting.
really?
Yeah, it seems like that. It was kind of similar.
Because the Gambino, no, which one is called the Harvard? Is that the Genovese? The Genovese?
I think so. Yeah, because that was
They're like
Lucky
the-
Luciano's
yeah,
family.
they're like the
and-
Harvard.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
smart, the white collar criminals.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But like the Bonanno always seemed like they were just like nobody gave a shit, so they got.
Yeah.
From what I don't remember where I heard this from, to be honest, but because hey, I don't remember a guy,
Yeah.
my guy told me
yeah.
about the thing. That they were also the most violent because of that. Like if they had if they got you real grossly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
You know Tommy Patera?
No, he's Tommy, Uptown Tommy.
No. Yeah. Well, Tommy Karate, as he was known.
Yeah,
He was he studied. He went to Japan to study karate,
really.
and he came back and became a mob enforcer, which is pretty funny.
That's actually fucking,
Yeah, yeah, 'cause,
that's
like, you're
why
missing-
is that not a series right now?
I know.
That's a fucking great like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking season 1 when he's in Japan, like learning the. All right, hey, like at the beginning, he's all get
Yeah,
the fuck
yeah.
out of here. I got to kneel, and then by the end,
Fuck you, buddy. Yeah.
But then by the end, he's just like, I understand that I am one with my own existence as it bleeds through all of us like the blood of life.
Now give me your wallet. You fucking
And then has to come back and like shake all that off.
Yeah.
You fucking fanook.
Yeah, he had a girlfriend, and they would take karate lessons and do drugs together, and she overdosed, and it was very sad.
That is yeah. I mean, again, great Tommy Karate.
Yeah, he would carry nunchucks and
Wait. Did he? Was he loyal to a family?
the bananas.
He was a Bonanno. See, that's what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Bonanno. And also, I just think the name is so goofy
Yeah.
Right.
that it would make you, if my last name was Bonanno, and so many other fucking guys were like Bonono,
Mhm.
Bononer, Banana, and you'd be like, you fucking say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again as you're like dangling them off the fucking
Yeah.
the Triborough Bridge. Say it one more time. What was my name?
Yeah. It's like if your name was like the Panizia family or something.
Panizia?
The Scrotello family. Yeah, named after.
Panizia.
The Labia
Scrotella.
family.
The lady. I mean, that does sound like an Italian name.
Right.
Labiano.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's also. Do you ever worry that like actual mafia associates listen to this podcast?
They might, but I
And-
don't think we're ever because Sonny Franzese.
But no, what
He's like 101. He was like the
So-
underboss of the Colombo
Okay.
family. He's like 101, and he
Yeah.
just got out of prison like recently. And there's a guy doing a documentary with him, and he's like, "Hey, I showed Sonny the pot," because he's like hanging out with Sonny every day.
Jesus.
He's like, "Hey, I played the podcast for Sonny." I'm like, "Oh, cool!" And I went back and listened to it, and I don't think we said anything. Because we're never disrespectful, Sean,
Not even when we do the voice like this.
Yeah. We're old school guys, We're all about respect. But yeah, I told my mom that. She was like, "Oh, I hope you weren't disrespectful or anything."
Jesus. I'm
Yeah.
just worried that like one of these guys takes a liking to my comedy, goes back, listens, hears a bit about how I like to perform cunnilingus. Like this guy goes down on women. That means
Whoa.
you go down on anybody.
Yeah.
Can't have this.
Yeah.
Because that was like such a ridiculous thing that you. I mean, I know everybody involved in the mafia in any way must despise the Sopranos now. They probably loved it back then, but now must be like, oh fuck all that.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting plot, like thought line
Yeah.
in the first season where it's like, Junior,
It
no
is
one
kind
can
of a
know.
sign of weakness.
Yeah, it's a sign of weakness if you it means you're possibly gay if you go down on women.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
That logic makes negative.
Well, I mean,
zero
it kind of makes sense because, like, if you put your penis in a woman's vagina,
And then
you
another-
might stick it in a man's asshole.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
No, look, if shit comes
I see
out
where
of your
you're going.
ass,
Why wouldn't something go back
why
in?
wouldn't something go back in? Why wouldn't a turd-shaped item thing go back in?
That's
A
deep.
I
brown,
would love
a
it.
brown turd-shaped item go back into your ass.
That means you fuck black guys.
yeah,
I would.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would be fucking hilarious.
they stop shitting.
So it's like
kinda
that
gay.
becomes like a mafia thing. Like,
Shitting's
hey,
gay.
wise guys don't poop.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
women don't poop. I don't care about women. Wise guys don't poop.
Right. They just have a colostomy bag or something. That turd looks a lot like a black penis. Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. Hey, remember why everybody poops except fucking wise guy, except Nostr.
This guy's wearing a wire. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. No, but it's kind of funny that they were sort of like they were kicked off the commission. They were sort of written off by the FBI, and then in the late '90s they had like a sort of a resurgence under this guy Joe Massino.
Yeah. Well, wait. What the current I don't think it was. I think I might be jumping families here, but there was one.
That's all right.
There's a current guy. He might have been
getting off topic. I don't know.
He might have been a Genovese guy, but like he passed I read about this. He passed 2 polygraphs about murder. He was accused of murder, 2 counts. He passed 2 separate polygraphs, and after the second one, the FBI shaved his head to make sure to look for proof that he had done drugs to pass the polygraphs. Have you ever heard of something like that before?
No.
I'm trying to just wonder what. Like what drug would you do that would make you pass?
They shaved his head.
They shaved his head to look for like traces of a drug. I don't know. But something about
there was a drug that made him pass the polygraph.
That's what I'm saying. There's apparently. I mean, I can think heroin or anything that just make you not give a shit. Xanax. But then how would that show up? And like, does Xanax leave a little imprint?
Yeah.
On your skull or
maybe.
Damn.
Did you see the Gotti movie?
The what?
The Gotti movie, the Travolta Gotti movie.
No, is it good?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's bad. It feels like the family directed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It feels like they were like, put a scene where he helps an old lady with her bags.
Do it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wait, wasn't that the whole thing about how Gotti went down is because there was an old woman living above his club, and that's where they ended up doing all the meetings because he paid.
Oh, where they
paid her like $100.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, look, they're going up there every day twice.
Yeah.
Let's go bug that room.
I think so, yeah.
Wait, which family was Gotti in?
Gambino. He was the boss of the Gambino family.
Gambino.
Yeah, they were like the biggest one.
They were like
they had about 600 soldiers.
So Gambino was like the
600 made guys. I don't know.
What am I trying to fucking the Gryffindor? They were like the Gryffindor of the 5 families.
You got Harvard. You got Gryffindor.
Yeah, right. And I guess the Genovese were like Ravenclaw. You know, they were kind of slippery.
Right.
And then
then like obviously the Lucchese's were like the Slytherin. They were ambitious.
Yeah.
But then Bonanno's not even on there because they were fucking.
They were like the DeVry magic school where you can learn magic online.
I did know.
Comes on at 4 a.m. Like, do you want to learn some spells?
I did.
$24.
I did drunkenly once on stage. I was talking about the 4 houses, and I said Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Serpico by accident instead of Slytherin. And I was like, imagine that version of fucking, where there's one house that's just all fucking cops that won't take money. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not gonna do it. All right.
Yeah. So Joe Bonanno, we did an episode on him, a while back, but he came over here from Sicily when Mussolini was cracking down on the mafia, and he found a bunch of other gangs, got into bootlegging. They said bootlegging was people loved it, That's back when it was what?
What was bootlegging specifically? I can't.
Well, Prohibition.
Oh, just running booze.
Yeah, running booze.
Just running booze. When it was fun, because people saw it as kind of like a harmless thing, and the cops sort of looked the other way.
It was like the golden age.
Yeah,
and it was all bathtub gin, right?
Yeah.
It's like homemade hooch.
Yeah.
God, and people just drank that shit. That was back when that was back though when there was even like an integrity to the criminal world. It feels like. So where like if they're like, hey, this bathtub gin's consistency is a key here.
Yeah.
It's got to be a certain proof. We got to age it. It wasn't like nowadays the idea of bathtub gin is just some fucking yoinks. Man, who cares? Whatever, dude. Just,
right, you did have to have like a good product.
Yeah, now you'd be like, whatever. We're criminals now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's how criminals will talk now.
Right.
But yeah, that back then it seems like that gin was probably better than like Tanqueray now.
Probably.
Do
you know anything about Prohibition? Because it seems like it was like sort of this conflict between, like the people in rural areas and like the cities. Like people thought that people in the cities were a bunch of degenerates who drank a lot. And it also seems like, it was during the Depression when, let me see, where's the information? I think 25% of people were unemployed. I feel like wages weren't very good. So it was probably just like the rampant alcoholism was probably just a symptom of people not having any money.
But was Prohibition was it a religious thing? You know what I mean? Was it like I
think so.
The Lord wants this to stop, and they put pressure on the government to do it across?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I always thought it was like a I mean, I could have been more educated on this fact. I could say that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was more of it was a thing that the government felt they couldn't control yet. Alcohol.
Oh, like regulate it?
Regulate. So they just put the brakes on it, and then the depression hit, and they were like, "Well, we'll get back to this. We'll get back to this in a second." But we got something else going on here.
Yeah.
But I guess not. But like, it's also, imagine if it had stuck.
Prohibition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
imagine society if like prohibition stuck, and then in the absence of alcohol, like marijuana became legalized, and way earlier, like in the 40s and shit.
Yeah.
So then we were just all raised being fucking
Right.
potheads.
And better bathtub.
And you have to buy beer from like a kid with dreadlocks that goes to your college. Just carrying around a messenger bag full of Budweiser or something.
Well, I feel like it would just be the opposite. I feel like we'd all have dreadlocks, and you have to buy beer from the kid with the haircut.
Yeah.
Like, you see the kid with the shaven face and the shirt tucked in? That fucking weirdo, man. Hey, don't say that.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Right.
Hey, he's got some beer.
Oh, we're all like, we're all like stoners.
We're all
white people with
We're
dreadlocks.
all like, it's like mandatory.
It's a guy in a Brooks Brothers shirt.
Yeah. We all look like those twins in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? We're all fucking-
Right.
Yeah. Like the one. Oh, you see
Some
those
guy
guys
in a
over
crew
there?
cut in a trucker hat.
Yeah.
It is weird that I guess like liquor was probably more profitable, but it's funny that you have marijuana, like it grows in the ground, there's less side effects and stuff, and then and liquor is taxed and regulated, and a lot of lobbying has. You fucking lobbies, man.
Yeah, you fucking lobbyists.
Fucking government.
I mean, I don't know that the government is smart enough to think this way, but maybe they are. But alcohol is definitely, the side effects of it make a more controllable population.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you drink too much booze and you're hungover and you just don't. Your ambitions.
You can
gone.
still like go to work drunk.
Exactly.
Right.
You could still do like
still
the
operate a
basic shit to
forklift.
keep. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And it
still-
wears off. It wears off quicker
right.
too,
You
right?
can still fly a plane.
Yeah.
But like, if like I don't believe in the whole gateway drug conversation, but I do believe that fucking pot specifically will at least make you look around more. Will at least make you go like, but what else is behind this door?
Mhm.
Not just drug wise, just thinking wise.
Mm-hmm.
Make you go like, but wait, why should I just go to work at the truck yard every day when what if I
Yeah.
read some
I could
poetry?
just get high. Yeah.
You know, like what if I traveled for a while, or what if I did all these things that would not.
Do you feel the same way
No.
about sex work too? Like if sex work was more common and you could just spend $40 to,
Dude,
Oh.
I went to
get a hand job, people would not be as productive.
that, but also I went to Cuba a few years back. Shit, 4 years ago now almost, and everyone there is the whole fucking island's for sale.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not a weird thing to just be like, hey, and to be like flirting with a girl and her drop a price on you. I mean, there are definite
Like I thought she liked me. Now she wants $10.
dude. I mean, like, okay, there are definite like every bar / club you go to in Cuba in Havana, there were definitely obvious sex workers, 100%.
Right.
But then one night,
It was kind of
my friend, a girl we met.
How did you get to go to Cuba? If I can
through
ask.
Canada?
Okay.
It was in 2015 for a bachelor party. 10 of us went. It was right after Obama like shook Raul's hand.
Yeah.
So we went. We were like, let's get down there before the floodgates open, assuming that they were gonna. And then Trump immediately shut them. So,
Right.
but we got down there. It was fucking. It was easy. When we flew back. That was the thing, dude. We all brought Cuban cigars back and shit.
Yeah.
We all said we
You
were
flew back from Canada?
We flew back into Toronto, and then we had to go through American customs, and we were like, let's just not lie about it.
Yeah.
So all of us were like, we were in Cuba, and their reaction was like, okay, did you bring anything back? And a couple of my friends were like, I've got 100 Cuban cigars, and they'd be like, we have to fine you $1.25 per cigar. And I'd be like, okay, that was it. It was very not a big deal at all.
Yeah.
But that was then. Probably now
yeah.
they just shoot you on sight, I imagine. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
But it seems like there are a lot. There's a lot of stuff that's forbidden that would make people less productive if they were allowed. And I mean, the only thing that's the things that come to mind are sex work and marijuana.
well, I feel like less productive isn't the right phrase. I think more individual or more independent, maybe. Like if you could get a hand job for $40 and it wasn't weird, then you probably would be less inclined to go out every night, spend your money
Right.
at bars trying to get laid. And
If there was sex work,
then-
you wouldn't have to take your wife to like TGI Fridays, you know, where they're like, come in for to get pussy Wednesday. F
Yeah.
off potato skins.
Bloomin' onion. We give you the bloomin' onion, then you make the onion bloom later. You know what I mean? We call vaginas onions here. That's why we're alone. but like, well, it wasn't that a whole thing now in the mafia had in this. I mean, I'm just trying to keep it back to the thing. But in like the 60s, they were about to set up shop in Cuba, right?
Mm-hmm.
In like because
Oh,
Cuba
yeah,
was
yeah.
about to be opened up as like the new Vegas,
Yeah.
Right.
and then there was an uprising.
They lost a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah. But now Cuba was like, we were like, yeah, everyone, there was a lot of very in your face. I feel like a lot of, like I was just in Singapore
Mhm.
where it's like, don't you spit gum on the ground. Don't you do that.
Yeah.
Don't fucking litter. But hey, right there, those are about 40 or 50 sex
Two
workers.
midgets. That,
Yeah,
right.
get over there. Totally cool.
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, don't, whatever you want, but don't you drop a condom wrapper. Don't, you know?
I'm sorry. Where's Singapore? China?
No, it's its own.
Wait, hold on. Oh, it is.
It's its own.
It's in China. It's in
It's
China.
Its own
new.
thing.
It's on the southern tip of Malaysia.
Oh,
So it's not in China at all.
yeah.
It's not even, but I recommend it. It's fucking cool.
yeah.
Right.
I remember there were two instances from my childhood. It was my mom taught
They
because
flogged the guy. That was where they beat the guy for
they
spray
lashed
paint.
a guy. What's
Yeah.
that for? What?
For graffiti.
Oh, really?
That was like in the 90s. That was a big thing. That's probably what made
Oh, it was
most
graffiti?
Americans
Yeah.
aware of Singapore. Was the guy, the American went over there
And they lashed him, right?
and they lashed him with the fucking. Well, they beat him with the
With the cane.
with a cane, like a cane soaked in Diet Coke or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, fucking flogged him.
Right.
So it stung the
What
saccharine.
religion are they over there?
I don't
Is it
think,
Muslim?
I don't think they are. I don't
Yeah.
think they have a. But Malaysia's
kinda
Muslim as
strict.
fuck.
Yeah.
Because I went to Kuala Lumpur afterwards, and that was my first time ever in like a Muslim-controlled country, and it's basically the exact same thing as
Of course.
here. It's like, yeah, we don't like any of that crazy shit either.
Yeah.
But we like beards though. We all got them, but that doesn't mean we give a fuck.
Yeah, there was that, and then like these two girls from my hometown went to Burma, and they were handing out like democracy pamphlets, and my mom told
Go
us,
to Burma.
yeah,
Apparently, that's
and our congressman had to like get them back or something.
really
Yeah, yeah,
fuck. Myanmar. That's what it's called now.
yeah.
That shit. I've heard you like don't.
And my mom was like, "That's what you get for going and fucking around in another country." She's like, "Do not do that. Do not hand that democracy pamphlet.
Stay here, drink your Bud Light with lime. Go drive your tractor.
We got everything we need right here."
You got a TGI Friday.
There's this Friday. There's a
you know, Joe Bonanno came to this
there's a
country.
Dave, they're building a Dave and Buster's.
Wait, like
Right.
that is that? Could that be something the mafia could get into, like extortion again?
They did video poker stuff. What do you mean extortion?
Like in that sense of like, hey, look, you're Dave and Buster's. You can do whatever you want, not just video games, you know? And if anybody comes to you, you come to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 'cause wasn't that the whole thing? They explained it in Goodfellas, I believe, that the mafia exists.
But those are like small businesses, I think.
Well,
Because there
that's-
is that scene in Sopranos where they try to shake down like the Starbucks.
Oh,
And,
yeah. And the guy's like, this is
the guys-
corporate.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Patsy goes, "It's over for the little guy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that.
But I don't think me and you could shake down a small business, right? Like a
No.
pie shop or something.
I, don't think, I think we'd start riffing and just annoy the guy, and he'd laugh.
No,
and
the
we'd
girl
give him
who
tickets
owns
to a show.
the girl who owns the pie shop would get her father's lawyers to like.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, the
just
fuck,
dig up stuff we've said on podcasts.
yeah,
Never
just go
worked.
through our tweets.
Yeah.
I feel like you could hold up a store, a coffee shop, or a bar in Brooklyn by walking in and just firing up your Instagram live feed and shouting the N-word and being like, give me all your money, or I'm going to get you in my feed as I say this.
Oh, you're an accomplice now.
Fucking pay up.
Yeah. And that's how I made $400. All I had to do was say the N-word and ruin my life.
Now that's a racket right there.
$400.
Wait, Sean, I was thinking about that the other night because I went to see Oklahoma on Broadway. My brother got tickets.
Was it
and-
good?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's it's a good enough show.
Oklahoma. The
Yeah.
San Francisco treat. That's not at all. That's the right
Yeah.
Cerrone.
That's the right Cerrone thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, but it was done in like a theater in the round, and the theater is lit most of the time, so you can see everybody. And there's moments in the show where it's like super quiet, and all I could think about was just like yelling the N-word
Like
because I was like, I would be famous.
that dude.
I would,
That's
I would ruin so many
famous.
I would ruin so many people's nights, and I'd be famous.
see.
I just couldn't stop thinking about
I,
it.
in that same situation, would think about nothing more than farting.
Yeah.
Like, this would be an amazing moment of just a.
Yeah.
It's a moment, but that would
And
be a
then it's
great
not.
moment to be able to throw your voice.
Yeah.
To
A
make-
fart is a little more anonymous.
Oh, they all look at some old couple. And they're like, what did you say? You frame it.
Or like the one like clearly 23-year-old like heavy glasses,
Yeah.
like non-gender identifying couple.
Yeah.
And you're just like the guy behind them.
You had the bit about the subway where you're like, I'm not afraid of being pushed. I'm afraid I'm going to push somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, I can't stop.
Yeah.
I would, dude.
I just think about grabbing someone's arm when I'm on the subway, just waiting for it, because it would scare them.
It just while it's coming up, just like
Yeah, just like, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Not that I would ever do it.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying it's on my mind, and then I can't get it out of my head.
That's
I
why
should probably
think,
be on meds or something.
Well, you know how fucking people how people react when you say something like that. Like, why would you think that? It's like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you think that?
Yeah.
You and if you and also
It's
I
there
think
to do. I'm free to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also feel like everyone thinks like this, which is why they react so viscerally when you say you do, because they're projecting their own fear of doing shit on you.
Sure.
Where it's like everyone has had that fucking thought about sweep kicking, or
Yeah.
like
An
Have
old
you ever
lady.
seen teenagers playing around on the platform where they're like pushing each other into the train? Where
you're like,
you're
it's
just
gonna
like,
happen.
oh my
Mm.
God.
Yeah, or just like you see like the woman with like the three fur stroller,
Yeah.
and you just want to like, and she stops for a second to like put a bag down or something. You're like, what if someone just ran up behind and just took it
Yeah.
and just ran away with their kids? She'd never catch
With their
them.
kids, yeah.
Like no one would be able
Nah,
to
you'd
stop.
catch them. You can't get that far with a stroller.
What if it was like
I've thought about it.
What if it was like a
I've acted this whole scenario in my mind.
yeah, he'd have to abandon it at some point and just push. So there you go. Then the guy just pushes off a bridge.
You're not going to get
And
that
then it's
far.
like
You
go
can
out-
ghosty it down a hill.
Yeah, you go
'Cause
after
it's going
the
to be
guy,
all
and
over
you got the
social
kids.
media. You know, back in the 70s, you could steal a baby stroller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was, which was I know a Bonanno side thing. They just baby strollers. Which
Yeah.
isn't that where they would put like?
I started off stealing baby strollers for the Bonanno family.
Well, the thing was, that's how we exchange money. We'd put the money in the stroller underneath the baby. So, which actually sounds legit.
Well, speaking of hiding stuff, so Joe Bonanno, he was dyed-in-the-wool capitalist, and it says like other New York bosses, Bonanno had numerous traditional criminal activities and new front enterprises to keep him busy and affluent. He had taken over a variety of legitimate businesses, 3-cut manufacturing companies, a trucking company, laundries, and cheese suppliers. There was also, this is really cool, a Joe Bonanno funeral parlor in Brooklyn that was supposed to be used to secretly dispose of victims murdered by the family. The ingenious Bonanno was said to have used specifically built 2-tiered or double-decker coffins with a secret compartment under the recorded corpse that allowed 2 bodies to be buried simultaneously. Income from these fronts was a handy means of warding off tax audits and justifying his above-average lifestyle. So that's pretty cool, huh? They bury a guy, a loan shark with your grandmother.
and it almost becomes a thing of like the level of criminal they bury with your family members, like it's a sign of respect.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's the Lucchese. That's the Lucchese kid. Put the boss.
Yeah.
Put that guy who ran Harlem underneath.
Yeah. They're like, who are your pallbearers? Because you might want to have the strongest family members carry this coffin, if you know what I mean. Because it's extra nice. It's hardwood, you know?
We added 180 pounds of marble to make sure it stays in the ground. It just goes down there real good.
Yeah. Just a watch falls out of it or something.
That would be an interesting situation if that and then there's like there is a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
And all these bodies start coming from the ground. You're like, oh God, my grandma. Wait, who's this fucking guy coming out of the grave with her? Who's this bullshit?
Hey, where's my grandma?
Who's this fucking guy with her? Wait, Stevie Knuckles? What the fuck are you doing in my grandmother's grave? Stevie Knuckles, I feel like there had to be at least one associate.
Stevie?
Stevie Knuckles. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Look at this keychain I got, by the way. I got it from the dollar store.
It's Trump?
It's Trump, but then you squeeze it and it's just him shitting.
Is that what that's what it's supposed to be?
I
Just
guess.
shit?
Nice.
What else would it be?
I like when it goes back into his butt.
It like doesn't even make sense.
That's like definitely someone got 80% through a thought and was like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll just make a bubble come out of his ass and go back in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you wish he'd take a shit, but then it's like, never mind. It's right back in his. This is so stupid. This is such a dumb, like, Trump always mostly and then goes right back in. He's constipated.
Right.
He's constipated this country.
It says his underlying capitalist philosophy rested on a basic theory that guided him and other bosses: eliminate the competition. This is a quote from Joe Bonanno. One must remember that he had like an Italian accent. He was one of the only bosses that he spoke broken English.
Oh, like a Brooklyn.
One must remember that in the economic sphere of the objectives of a family was to set up monopolies as far as possible. He explained in his book Man of Honor. So. Yeah.
Wait, where did he die natural causes or did he
in 2002? Yeah, he was 97.
Damn.
Good life.
Good life.
Yeah.
Where did he die?
I think in Arizona. He was like, so they in I think 85 maybe, they indicted a bunch of bosses. They indicted like the boss of the Lucchese family, the Bonanno family. They indicted Paul Castellano, and he was asked to testify by Giuliani as a witness. He was like in Arizona. Giuliani flew to Arizona to ask him to testify, and he was like, "No, I can't do it. It would be against my character." And he did like 14 months in prison for obstruction of justice.
Really?
Yeah.
At that age?
At like 79.
It's like, fuck it. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took the thing. I did the.
What's going to really happen to that guy in prison? He'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like that's a. I mean, then again,
because Nick was saying on Cumtown, he was like, if you remove rape from prison, it's not scary to go to jail.
I mean, that is a very Nick thought.
Yeah.
It's a very Nick Mullen thing to say.
Yeah.
Are they allowed to have video games in their cells or no?
I'm sure if you're like Avon Barksdale or something.
I mean, I don't know. Like if you ever watched Oz, I mean, like rape was the nice part of fucking going to prison. It seemed like,
yeah.
Like you ever watch that show?
No.
Oh, dude, that was that. Everybody credits The Sopranos with like the show that made TV what it is, and I agree with that. But the show that made The Sopranos able to be The Sopranos was Oz, because that show was so fucked up and twisted, and just jumped. I mean, it jumped the shark and then landed on the shark.
So what's worse than
rape the shark?
Rape.
I mean, there's like one episode. There's one. I'll give you. There's something I just can't fucking.
Reading is worse than rape.
There's one
having to read books.
Okay. There's one scene where a prison guard's walking by and one of the prisoners goes, "Hey, I got something for you. It's a shit, piss, blood cocktail," and he throws a cocktail of blood, piss, and shit on this prison guard's face, and it was like that's fucking that kind of thing happened all the time in the Maximum in Oswald.
And what did he do? He's already in prison.
He's already in prison, yeah.
Right. And if he had video games, there's no way he would have had time to get around to making that cocktail.
Yeah, they should be like mandatory video games in prison.
Yeah.
But like shitty video games.
Yeah,
right. like Home Improvement for SNES. Plays Tim Allen shooting a nail gun at people.
Is that an actual video game?
Oh yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, the Home Improvement of the game. I think he's like fighting dinosaurs with like a nail gun or something.
Oh Jesus, are you serious?
Yeah.
For which gaming system?
SNES.
What's the SNES?
Super Nintendo.
Okay, yeah. So you give them all Sega Genesises.
Yeah. Well, the Bonanno family got hit pretty hard in the early '80s when the FBI announced that Joe Pistone, known as Donnie Brasco, had successfully infiltrated the family. Joe Pistone sort of worked his way into the family. He kind of cozied up, and he got so high up in the family that they were gonna open the books on him. They were gonna make him.
Really?
Yeah.
He got that fucking high up?
Yeah. There's a
he
tape.
just got made.
Yeah.
I feel like you get made, and then it's a straight up like, okay, now I can take the whole thing down. Because I feel like it's pretty
embarrassing.
I mean, I feel like, no offense, but I feel like some of these mafia guys would be so like, well, he's a made guy, you know?
Yeah.
He wants us to fucking go to jail. It's what he got. He's a made guy.
Right. You got to do it.
You going to question him? He wants us to turn ourselves in. He's made.
Right. Yeah. So much of it comes from like not questioning authority or anything.
Right.
So Sonny Black was the captain that Pistone sort of warmed up to. Eventually they killed Sonny Black and chopped his hands off to signify that he had introduced Pistone to everybody.
Yeah.
And then Lefty, he also got close. This guy Lefty.
Always got to send a message with the death.
Always.
You got to be dramatic about it. Yeah. Yeah. And then I put a red rose up his ass to say, "Stay away from my wife," because he gave my wife a flower.
And, flowers don't always smell good, because a lot of them come from shit.
Yeah.
Like, what? They come from shit. Hey, he's a made guy.
I put makeup on him to make him look like Michael Jackson to say, stay away from my kid.
Stay away from my kid's butthole.
Right. He bought a Jerry curled wig and like did his face up to make him look like Michael Jackson.
Detective on the scene. It's like, I don't know. It's a mob hit.
I made him. I dressed him like a clown. And I said, "Don't be a bozo," because that guy was a bozo. And now he's dead. You understand? I like to
spent 6 hours putting clown makeup on a guy.
The most long-winded.
Yeah.
Wait, boss, can you go?
They
over
have
this
to be
again?
explained. The detective
Right.
can't tell it's a mob hit.
Listen, I shaved his entire body and painted him blue. Okay, to say he was in the bluegrass group, which, if you notice, they don't talk. Which this guy did, he talked. So I'm saying, don't talk, or you end up like this guy, a dead blue man, which is what happens when they talk. They die. You see?
He sold me tickets to Cats on Broadway, and they were fake. So I killed him, and then I dressed him up in cat makeup. I dressed him up like Mr. Mustaphanes.
The magical Mr. Mustaphanes, he's mischievous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's his whole thing. I was going to go
Fucking asshole.
I was going to dress him up as Rum Tum Tugger. The thing is, he's a calico. That would have taken longer.
So Lefty Ruggiero, during a tape, he said I think he said to Donnie Brasco, there was another undercover agent present at this meeting named Tony, and Lefty Ruggiero was like, "What's the matter, Donnie? You don't tell this guy anything." So he was like explaining. I think he was explaining like how to rob something, or because he said, "Tony, a wise guy can lie, you can cheat, you can steal, you can kill people legitimately, you can do anything you want, and nobody can say anything about it. Who wouldn't want to be a wise guy?" Then it came out that the mob, so like this also implicated members of other families, because Ruggiero had deals with all these other guys in other families. So commission members were like, they put a $500,000 reward on the guy's head, whoever got to Pistone or his wife or his children. It's pretty scary.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Did they get to any of them?
No. They weren't harmed. They put him in witness protection. They gave him 24-hour protection, and then also 2 agents went. Fat Tony Salerno of the Genovese family.
I know the name. I don't know the.
Pull up a little. Yeah, he was sort of like the boss of the Genovese family, or actually more like the underboss. And 2 agents went to his house in East Harlem, and they were like, "Get the word out, Tony. Leave Pistone alone. We don't hurt cops." And then Tony said, "We don't hurt cops and we don't hurt agents. Hey, you boys have a job to do. My guarantee." They said that Fat Tony was a complete gentleman.
Yeah, is he still around?
No, he died. I think he got indicted also in the mid-'80s with that big crackdown.
Yeah, there's a scene in that movie in Donnie Brasco. When they go to the sushi restaurant, or they want everybody to take off their shoes. And that's where his wire was. It was in his boots, and he was just like, "I ain't taking off."
Oh, it was like a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, and he's like,
"Really?
Who won the war?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who won the war?
Yeah. And then they beat the shit out of the maitre d' for trying to insist they take his boots. You remember that scene in the movie?
I never saw it.
Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
It's not a good. It's one of those. You ever watch those movies where you're like this? And it sucks because it happens to Al Pacino, I feel like, more than it should, because I actually love Al Pacino.
Yeah.
But 2 movies, Carlito's Way,
Yeah.
and Donnie Brasco.
What, it just kind of doesn't hold up?
No,
or?
where it just, if it was a different director, if it just put someone else at the fucking helm, it would have been an excellent
Carlito's
movie.
Way was Brian De Palma?
I hate Brian De Palma.
Okay.
There's no offense, but fuck you.
Yeah.
I just, because Scarface, everything he does is just like, come on. It's like, tone it back 2% and pay attention to the story a little bit more.
Right,
I think Carlito's Way.
What else? Wait, he did Scarface, Carlito's Way, and what else?
Brian De Palma?
Yeah, he did something recently.
It's probably bad. None of us saw it.
Okay.
Carlito's Way also, I mean, they could never redo that movie the way, because you could never cast Al Pacino to play a Puerto Rican dude.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah, it'd be Rojo
Which is
Perez.
a shame.
You get Rojo in
well,
there.
good for him. Yeah.
I mean, I hope that happens to Rojo.
He gets to play Carlito's Way.
When they reboot Carlito's Way, it's Rojo Perez.
Yeah.
I'm coming out, okay? You good?
Well, you know what they should do? Instead of being like every person of like the race has to represent, they should just cross-racially cast every role from now on. They should let Asians play whites. They should let, Indian people play Italians. There's just no, and then white people can do what we do best, which is play other races in movies.
Just mix, yeah. Only no white people can't play white people.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Because I remember being really into acting when I was in high school, and I liked those character actors that could sort of like transform themselves.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember thinking like, yeah, you could just play a different race if you're that good of an actor. I could be a convincing
dude,
convincing Jew
guy
or whatever.
Okay,
yeah.
Here's the thing. Have you seen Carlito's Way?
No.
Carlito, okay, it's still a fucking good movie, but it's not. It could have been eons better.
Okay.
Al Pacino is mildly convincing as a Puerto Rican dude. You just kind of, but he's Al Pacino, so you just sort of like, that's Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
But Viggo Mortensen also plays a Puerto Rican dude. Not convincing at all.
Wow.
Just like, come on, man. He's in a wheelchair. He's like, I can't fuck, And you're like,
boy.
Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, watching it probably.
What are we gonna do? Find a Puerto Rican actor to play this part?
I was apparently in the 90s. No,
yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like,
Aragorn didn't nail it.
yeah. Anyway, Donnie. Jesus Christ! I apologize.
Right. You want a Tums?
No, I'm good.
Right.
But Carlito. I mean, what were we talking about? The other one,
Donnie Brasco.
Donnie Brasco. Yeah, it could have been a far better movie. It just wasn't. But it was like interesting.
Wait, who did Donnie Brasco?
I don't remember.
Okay,
but I think Johnny Depp was good as Donnie Brasco. I think Al Pacino was great as Lefty. But like, all of them were good.
I watched Pope of Greenwich Village recently. Did you see that?
That with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since I was in like high school. But
okay.
It was good. I remember.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but but it's almost like there's like not enough there for a movie. If they made it today, there just wouldn't be enough there because it's really just about like two guys, and it's really funny. Like the opening scene is Mickey Rourke like getting dressed, like putting on his clothes and his tie and his cologne and doing his hair, and then you find he's a restaurant manager.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is like I think kind of like a boomer thing. Like boomers just made more money doing more menial jobs, doing like shit jobs.
Yeah,
and they were able to be cool. They were able to afford nice clothes.
But I feel like because then it wasn't. Then you didn't have social media or MTV, so it wasn't like. You know how you could fix this country? Do a fucking sexy reality show about fucking bus drivers.
Yeah,
like make like
school bus drivers,
or like fucking kitchen wait, like what maitre d's. Like
don't they have those a lot though? Because like
I feel like they don't. I feel like or they make it look shitty.
Truck drive,
like no one wants to do it because they make it look like, or it's too dangerous. It's like you don't want to be a crab fisherman.
Yeah,
but it looks crazy.
Just find like kind of a mundane job and sort of.
I feel like because I
find like the biggest characters, right?
Right. I just feel like in that time, just having a job was cool.
Yeah.
If you if you make money on your own, it was like when people took pride in their shit.
Right.
But now it's just like, people are so upset that they got to do things, like they got to do it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, okay, but like that, I didn't know that Joe Pistone got that high up because they did not make it seem that way in the movie.
Oh no,
that he got that high up, like almost had to prick the finger and burn the card.
Yeah,
burn the St. Andrew or whatever.
He went pretty far. Yeah. So I guess we have to wrap up in a little bit, but we could almost probably do another episode about this guy Joe Massino who ended up taking over the Bonanno family after, because it's interesting, and I feel like they were sort of cast out. They were kicked off the commission,
right?
And
which
then
is crazy to think about.
Yeah,
because like
then they had like a second wind.
Yeah, and then it's like they were like the Matthew McConaughey.
They're like the Matthew McConaughey
of like
yeah.
They had then they had their True Detective
right
in the 90s, and they just resurged it.
Right.
Because that's like, I feel like, but isn't that kind of what's happening now? Like all these guys are getting like
they're coming
out of
back
prison
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like now, and like, of course they're probably going to be up to their, and
yeah, it's like what else they know how to do.
Yeah. And there's going to be like I read like a thing.
Podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, probably
be something.
Start doing comedy.
Yeah.
It can't be a real business though.
Stand up. Yeah. Yeah.
It has to have an angle.
Right. A real business?
Yeah, it can't be like just like a legitimate business. I always wondered like what like a mafia family would look like if they just started a company. That's Walmart now.
And they got they got to play it straight.
Right.
I mean, like that's like it would be like that in what's that fucking movie that's good? My Blue Heaven, when they they build and open up the field, but they're actually running, because that's what just, I mean, wasn't that the whole idea of they would take over small businesses and then just run them to the ground on purpose for like
shit.
Yeah, to like run up the credit and just buy shit and never pay it back, and then burn it down for the insurance.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but like, I'm not in the mafia.
Yeah.
Are you in the mafia? What if this is all?
I don't know.
the
I mean, why
Recine-
would I have a podcast about the mafia if I was in the mafia?
I mean, call it.
Come on, that's crazy, Sean.
Call it diversion technique.
Yeah.
You know, you're listening to this going, this guy can't be in the mafia.
I'm legit.
Racino.
The Recine, what with your
Recine.
Machine?
Recine. Yeah. Well, sorry. What were you gonna ask?
Like what Jersey? What's the Jersey family?
The Cavalcantes.
Would that be who you?
Which they had the boss of that family was gay, and they found out and they killed him, but they couldn't let the New York families know.
Really?
That's why they killed him. They were
Really?
like, yeah, we just don't know what happened to him because it was too
Right.
embarrassing.
So they killed him. They killed him the regular way. They didn't dress up his body.
Yeah, he's fine. There's nothing.
Yeah.
He died like a heterosexual man, of too much pussy. He died of overdose of vagina.
Yeah.
Which is also like a thing where it's like, why is it embarrassing that one person, you know what I mean? It's just, I know there's a whole machismo thing there, but it's also such a like, you guys can't separate one person from the whole pack.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's one, like the guy, of course, anyway, I don't want to get into the.
No, it's a brotherhood.
Yeah, but then exactly. But because New Orleans, where I'm from, was the
Is this picking up, by the way, the noise outside?
I don't know. It's probably minimal.
it's just our fan base out there.
What if-
Yeah.
What if
we got a bunch of ladies out there waiting for us to be done podcast?
What if the mafia had a similar military policy when I joined? It was don't ask, don't tell, and they were allowed to be gay as long as they.
I think that's. I
Probably
think
was.
I think that's what it. Wait, I'm just gonna look this up real quick. I think that's what it was towards the end, right? They were just like, guys do what they do.
Well, they were so depleted of numbers too that they were like desperate for for recruits.
Because wait, I want to look up because the New Orleans had a huge mafia presence.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the damn the family was called. Hold up,
Mafia 3 is a video game there. It's like that's like where the
Marcella.
Marcella
family. Carlos Marcella. Yeah,
that's like the first place organized crime showed up in America. So.
What, New Orleans?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
The ports.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It's because like New Orleans definitely has a far more Irish and Italian influence than people think when they think Cajun. But there's also, but definitely Italian. But like New Orleans would be the fucking easiest city to be a mobster in.
Yeah.
Because everyone's fucking half cocked all the seriously. Like
Right.
people are just like it's a very European city, so no.
Yeah, but
one
then maybe
wants-
there's less demand for illegal stuff because you can just get it everywhere.
But then because you can get it everywhere, there's probably
More opportunities for extortion.
like there's a lot of cash only businesses in New Orleans,
Yeah.
and I feel like those are prime for because if it's cash only, everybody knows you've got a shit ton of cash on site at all times. So to prevent small time crooks from walking in there, you got protection,
Right.
shall we say?
Mhm.
Right.
And that protection costs 20%.
Right.
I'm just saying, maybe I'm in the mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I guess sort of an element of it where it's like you do have to offer a good product to some
Yeah.
extent. If you're selling drugs, you have to,
Yeah.
you know.
You have to make sure it kicks. Right?
Yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to bring up was that like there was a rule with La Cosa Nostra that you couldn't go after cops or like anyone like prosecutors or anything like that.
Right.
And it just seems like Mexico is not like that. The cartels are
the
not
cartel
like that.
doesn't give a
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there is no code
Yeah.
unless there just hasn't been a TV show about it yet.
Yeah.
That's how we learn about how crime really works.
Right.
Narcos season 4 talking.
Well, they
to you.
seem a
No.
lot more powerful too.
Wait, did you guys watch Narcos at all?
No.
I watched season 1. I don't remember them.
Season, I think it's great.
Louisa didn't like it. She said it was not authentic. So I
Oh,
stopped.
dude, fuck, the most recent season is like disturbing.
Yeah.
Like the way it ends is like you know how like realism in movies and TVs is it's like that's what everybody wants now. But this one, just in my opinion, ends too real. Where it's like I just watched a man get murdered. I feel like
Right.
for real. Like fuck, well done, but fuck.
Right,
But anyway, yeah, I don't feel like the cartels give a shit.
Yeah.
I feel like to them it's just like whoever's in control makes the rules.
Yeah.
And so be in control or don't.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. It's pretty ballsy too.
Yeah.
I mean, to be a prosecutor or a cop in Mexico.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because I think there was a leader of Mexico, I think Peña Nieto or something, was like, we're going to take a hard stance against the cartels, and the cartels just started like chopping people's heads off and leaving their bodies in the street. They
Yeah.
were like, you want to see a hard stance? Yeah.
Try standing on your head.
Oh,
You
man.
can't do it because your body will just fall to the ground.
Right.
I mean,
And Acapulco was like a big tourist destination.
and
but
now
then
it's a fucking
it's
war
like-
zone, right?
Yeah.
Is it right?
It's like depleted of, nobody goes there. Nobody goes there.
I mean, yeah, dude, I would be. Yeah, have you ever been to Mexico?
I went to like Tijuana a couple times.
Yeah, I've only been to like the Cancun, Tijuana, Cozumel.
Yeah.
Wait, you been to Tijuana a couple times?
Yeah.
Fucking Mikey Recine. What you down there doing in Tijuana? Huh?
Hey,
I got a guy
I'm
who's
buying chiclets.
Hey, maybe in those chiclet packets or another bag of chiclets. You
Yeah.
know, I had to double down. That's I don't know, man. I would like to go to. I would like to go to Mexico more, but I just haven't been. I don't have a reason. I feel like I can't be
Well, they
like.
killed Kevin.
Yeah, that's what did it.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Where were they when that happened? Guadalajara.
I don't know, but yeah, he was. I just know he was in Mexico. I don't know where.
Shit.
Yeah.
Mexico's. Yeah, man. I feel like
Guadalajara. Just that sounds. The name sounds scary.
Guadalajara.
Yeah, but is that a tourist destination?
Dude, I just got. There's this magazine called Whalebone Magazine, which is just a bar magazine, but they seem to like what I do. I just got invited to an all expenses paid trip, 3-day trip to Guadalajara, like next week,
Nice.
and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it
Yeah.
for other reasons, but it's like 20 people going on a trip, sponsored by like Don Julio Tequila, just to like hang out in Guadalajara, and it. To me, I read it. A lot of people would read that and be like, "Oh, awesome!"
Right.
I read it as like the beginning of a fucking news story about 20 dumbass drunk Americans who get fucking robbed and their eyeballs gouged out by the fucking Guadalajara cartel. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Mm,
not that kind of shit happens. I don't want to
right.
promote that constantly happens there, but
Right.
you read enough stories where you're like, "Fuck, man."
Right. I picture like the Fire Fest, but like the good stuff, the promotional stuff, like just us hanging out, having a party.
Dude, that imagine if that guy, if the mob was around still when the fire like that guy would be dead, because he would have eventually had to turn to the mob to help make the fest happen. You know what I mean? Because he
Yeah.
would have been unable to borrow any more money. He would have needed more influence. He'd have been like, talk to this guy who's got a guy in Miami who's got influence over the customs people in the Bahamas, and he would have still fucking everything would have still fallen apart, and then he would have just been gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in that way, it almost seems like you missed the mob because there was like,
There was some order.
they
Yeah.
did eliminate probably a lot of Billy, whatever his last name is.
Yeah.
They probably got rid of a lot of guys like that.
Yeah.
You know? during
Yeah,
that
now
time.
the mob is like putting
Yeah.
on concerts.
Yeah.
Right.
And Ja Rule. They probably got rid
It's
of
just
Ja
9
Rule.
Sinatra impersonators. Wasn't this a great music festival, everybody, or what, huh?
Sinatra,
9
fuck out of here.
different-
Tony Bennett, the real deal.
Yeah. The first gig I did was in Jersey. There was a Sinatra impersonator there.
Was it
First,
good?
like, paid gig. He was just like an old man who sang Sinatra songs.
You were
He sounded like him a little bit.
First gig, I would have been excited to see something crazy like that.
Mike and I once did, Mike, Jermaine Fowler, Rojo Perez, and I went to do a show at a prom after show in a high school once. We did like 10 years ago, I think that was, or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And we went, and there was such a fucking ridiculous show. I didn't even go on. By the time I was supposed to go on, they're just like, we don't, they cut us. They're just like, you guys don't have to do this anymore.
They were like, people's parents are coming.
Yeah.
Because Jermaine did a bunch of time, I think, because hosting.
Yeah, Jermaine did a shit. I remember you went up and like you weren't supposed to curse and you did right away.
Oh.
You remember that?
No.
Like you were like, you guys ready to fucking laugh? And we're like, they just told us not to do that.
Yeah.
And then you brought Jermaine out, and then Jermaine brought Rojo out, and I think you were supposed to go back out, and I was supposed to go on. And while Rojo was on, they came back like, it's fine.
Yeah.
We don't need to do this anymore. Because there was also a bunch of fucking
Got their money though.
Yeah, you got but it was a bunch of high school kids who were like, "What? Why are we? we just had prom.
Yeah.
You want us to listen to what a bunch of dudes have to say now?" Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
I did a show like that with at my old college. I did it with Kumail, Chelsea Peretti, Bargatze, and Mike DiStefano headlined. That was a fun show. Yeah.
Damn. Then it actually went off the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. That was the good times.
Yeah.
College.
But then he died, and now it's overrun by these fucking,
Yoinks, I call them.
bunch of yoinks.
Yeah. Well, that I hope there is never another Fire Fest. I hope there is. I'm not gonna lie. I like watching that sort of shit. Watching like what people think is this like foolproof system of influencers fail.
Yeah,
makes me happy.
yeah, because it's inherently like a pretty an exclusive like thing. It's like for rich people, and it seems like that never seems to do well.
I just hate.
It's a shitty idea.
Yeah, I hate the idea. The idea
It's for people
of an
with money.
influencer. I
Right.
hate.
Right.
I think it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's like they bring. That's the thing about that. That's what that documentary kind of proves. It's like that world, the influencer world. They're great at selling things, but they cannot create anything. They can only sell. It doesn't matter what it is, unfortunately, and they can fucking sell you on it, but it's nothing. It's never anything.
That's why we got to go on the road with them.
What? And just
Co-headline, baby.
Go ahead, baby.
Yeah.
The Fire Fest co-headlining. Fuck that.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else? Any final thoughts?
I mean, I would say if
did you? Because you were like, I want to do the Bonanno family. What do you like about them?
The specific thing I liked about the Bonanno family, like I said earlier.
Yeah, they're like an offshoot.
Well, I felt like they were like, are you a hip hop guy at all?
Yeah.
I feel like they were like the southern rap of the hip hop world, whereas like they didn't get respect for the longest time, and then they kind of, when everything else was falling apart, they rose up and were like, actually, we've been getting really good at this whole time. And then they had they eventually had their like, while everyone, like you said, like while everyone else was falling apart, they're like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
We've just been getting stronger. Something about. That's kind of
like how life happens in because sometimes in life you'll have moments where you're like, oh, I'm done. I'm at the bottom.
Yeah,
and you can quit or you can keep going,
and
because you never know
thing.
how like things change. Like conditions change.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Like I feel like that's how. I guess like I mean this is gonna sound way too therapy like or way too fucking moth like.
Go
but
ahead.
Why I identify with the Bonanno family is because like
what the Bonanno family means to me.
But like when you read it, like the idea of the 5 families and the commissions, and it's like it's an inclusionary thing, and I've never been included in the inclusionary things my entire fucking life.
Right.
I've just never been one of those people who's like in on the like
with the
you're
cool
in
kids.
on the cool kids.
Yeah.
I was always a fucking outlier.
Yeah.
So like looking at them and how they. Even though we're like you said, like not investigated, we're just like, oh, they're not part of the thing. But we're secretly becoming the most powerful family in New York for a while.
Yeah,
I just admire that.
Right,
just being like, well, fuck y'all, we're gonna just do our own thing. And
there's almost a parallel with comedy too, because I feel like some of the funniest people are people who were like were ignored for a little bit, and then that's when they got really, really fun. Somebody like Bill Burr, I feel like, there was a point where he probably thought he was done. Mark Maron too probably thought he was done, and then that's when you start from zero. That's when you
or when you just or when you stop allowing other people's success and what their definition of success is define who you are and your low, because that's just you see that shit constantly, and I just I get you said it's part of life. You'd never expect it to apply to all aspects of life, especially organized fucking crime.
Right.
But even then, there's like the inspirational, like, and other guys were whacking people left and right, but they were doing it a different way.
Yeah.
We would, as a Joe Bonanno, we
got noticed.
We got noticed the way we whacked people, and it's like a thing of like, Jesus, even in that world,
right?
There's still the people who are like, no, if you're gonna do it, commit to it. It's a dream. You chase it.
Right.
You chase it down.
It's really not over. It's really not over till it's over.
It's never over. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's what I just kind of. That's why I said let's talk about them, because they seem like especially when you hear one of them called, like we said earlier, the Genovese family, the Harvard.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's God. You know how just you don't want to be around these fucking white collared pricks, you know?
Yeah.
And then like I know the Gambino.
Everybody likes an underdog.
Right, exactly. There is no. You didn't think there could be an underdog in organized crime, and there fucking is.
Yeah.
And that I would, if I were in the mafia, I would, you know, if I was looking for a crew to join, you know, I'd Bonanno. Also, they're Brooklyn based, right?
I think so.
I think so. There you go. Another thing. I like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So if I were a guy, I'd never be able to join. They couldn't open up the books on me because of my fucking half mutt heritage.
Right.
But I could be a guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You can help him out.
I could probably be in a crew, right?
Yeah.
Could I be in a crew as a non-Sicilian? I could be part of a crew.
You just couldn't be made.
I just couldn't be made.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Nobody in this room could be made.
Not you?
No, I'm Irish and Polish. On the
Oh,
other
you
side,
fucking.
Yeah.
This fucking.
Don't remind me.
Dude, what happens?
But I think you have to be full Sicilian too. I think if you're from another part of Italy, you're excluded.
Oh, it has to be full Sicilian.
Yeah.
What has there ever been a guy who got made because he lied and just like somehow fibbed the facts, and then they find out after the fact, like this fucking guy's Spanish?
Some 23andMe test.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren got made into the Cherokee Nation, and then she was kicked out.
Fucking, they call it tomahawking.
Yeah. Did you see that Trump tweet where he tweeted her video and he was like, if she had done this video and her husband was dressed up in full Indian garb, it would have been a huge success.
That was the shit, and then back up his ass.
Yep. That's our boy. He just can't stop winning.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. Any plugs, Sean?
No, I mean, check out my website, MeSeanPatton.com. Tour dates. You know, I've got a podcast launching on the All Things Comedy Network called 5 Words. I don't think it comes out till April though. I'm not sure the exact date, but I think it's April. And I'm around, just, you know, trying to be like being an outlier, trying to rise above.
Yeah, go see Sean live. He's everybody knows he's one of the best comics.
Oh well, thank you, Mike.
Around.
And Mike, I hope you're still out there doing that joke I complimented you on that last time I saw you. I realized I was about to say it on the podcast, but I realized saying the title of the joke
gives it away.
So
Go
I'm
ahead,
not going to do
it
it.
away.
It's the thing about. It was about Jewish.
Oh, Jewish slaves? Yeah.
That's a really funny joke.
Thanks.
And it sounds way worse than it does.
Right,
if you're listening to this, you're like, what an anti...
Right.
It's not.
No, I added
at all.
If you're reading it on a set list,
our
you're like,
listeners,
whoa.
It's
our
not at
listeners
all.
care about that.
Yeah, it's actually very pro-Jewish.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I had a little intro and a little closer. So cool. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. Remember, sitdownpod@gmail.com. We'll answer all your questions. Find us on Patreon, sitdownpod. You know, kick us a few bucks if you want. We're doing okay, but we could always use more money. My dog's not eating. I've been feeding him steak just so he eats something. And Instagram, Twitter, Sit Down Pod. Tell your friends about the show, please. That'd be good. You know, tell 2 friends. Tell 2 friends that you like the show. We'd appreciate that a lot. I'm trying to get those numbers up. Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Did I forget anything?
No, I think you did it.
Cool. All right, folks. See you next time. Bye-bye.